and welcome to the ER video. Now the ERs stand for energetic rejuvenators, and these are a key part of the bioenergetic wellness system. And you can see on the MiHealth screen that you have these specific spots that we call ERs, that if you use the MiHealth on them, on the particular ER functions, they help to rejuvenate the energy flow in the body, helping to stimulate the body's own healing reaction. Now we're very fortunate today because we've got our great friend Cyril, who's flown all the way in from Australia to teach us how to use the MiHealth properly, and I'm going to be his guinea pig or model. So yeah, welcome Cyril.
Morning, Harry.
How are you doing? I'm good. Oh yeah, great. Yeah, we'll do the president's handshake.
All right.
Well, teach us all how to use it properly.
Well, the objective of this exercise is actually to make it as simple as possible. So we've got the MiHealth turned on. It's come up on the screens. Our scanning software has told us where we want to go and what's most suitable. And for Harry today, I'm going to select the ER folder and I'm going to choose lungs. So I'm going to get you to sit down. Now, I'm choosing lungs off of the ER list based on what we would see on a scan. Lungs are convenient for us today because we can easily see Harry's chest. Now, the device is able to treat both on and off body. So let's have a look what it looks like off body. So this is where I'm not touching him directly on the skin. So in this case, I've chosen ER6, the lungs. And here we are. This is the lungs area. Comes from effectively the clavicle down into the chest and then back up. And at the moment, I'm operating it in off-body mode. So it's producing a PMF, providing information patterns to open up those energy pathways. Now the device has a timer, and typically we might place it on around the body for maybe 2 minutes. We could go over the top, we could go over the back. This is all opening up that lungs area as indicated by the scan.
So you mean, Cyril, you don't have to be completely precise on the spot that comes up in the screen. You can be a bit broader than that.
No, absolutely. The body has a field, and this device is interacting with that field. So as a result, we're placing information in this area, the body is picking it up and using it as it wishes. So this is a very gentle treatment, very easy to work with. And because it's your scan, your information required that information. So you're the one taking that energy on. There we go.
And releasing the grief that's associated with the lungs.
Well, it's a metaphysical relationship, yeah, where different organs and different areas of the body certainly can have specific functions, and grief is one that the lung often holds. Hope you're feeling okay.
No, I'm okay, but I'm a little bit upset at the moment.
All right. Now, that was off body. Very simple. We choose it and simply run it. We can also do on body. So let's have a little fun. Let's treat you on body in the lungs. So magically, we'll take your clothes off. We're now going to go on body. We're actually going to contact the skin and we're going to brush those areas. Now remembering, you only want a gentle, comfortable session, so that don't want the energy too high. Okay? So ordinarily, we might take Harry's hand and I'll put it on here and I'll just check to see if that's comfortable. How does that feel? Tell me when that's a comfortable setting.
That's comfortable.
Super. Now, it's ideal to place this into Harry's hand. He can feel it. If it was uncomfortable, he could take it away or close his hand. If I was to do this on the back of his neck, I'd be imposing upon him. It'd be much harder for him to move away. So it's important to put it somewhere comfortable where they're in control. Okay, was that comfortable, Harry?
It is. But what I wouldn't mind you explaining is why use on-body versus off-body on the ERs?
Well, there are different interactions. Off-body is ideal for going just straight into the body field, but some bodies literally react differently with different deliveries. Some take infoceuticals very well, some take off-body very well, some take on-body very well. Now, if you can feel the device, you'll often notice changes much quicker in your consciousness. There might be asymmetries, blockages that relate to this ER, and we can identify them and find them very quickly with this.
So I think you're saying for people who like the tactile feeling, on body the signal will penetrate more deeply and will make a better sort of link in their brains.
Their emotional link to it will accelerate their recovery, yes.
Perfect. And then with off-body, the information is carried into the field anyway, so it still works. But for some people, they may not believe that. It may be a bit too woo. So if people think it's woo, then use on-body.
Look, yeah, it certainly suits a lot of mindsets where they're used to having physical contact and sensing it. But the technology we have today operates both on-body and off-body. And the studies that have been done, the outcome studies for the MiHealth, show very clearly in the data that both on and off-body were highly effective. So mix and matching it is probably the best way to go.
Now, if I get this correct, I think it was 89%. Yeah, felt improvements in the first visit, and I believe it was 90. Yeah, it was 93%.
It was over 90%. With follow-ups. Yeah. So I've chosen ER6 again, but this time, as we see, we're going to go on body. So in this case, I might start around the back. So first thing is I'm going to place my hand onto Harry so he knows where the device is going to go, so he doesn't get interrupted by a cold metal device. Here we go. We've got the energy there. Now, how can you feel that, Harry? Does that feel comfortable?
Yeah, it feels like a nice, gentle, tingling sensation.
Super. Now, the projection of the lung goes right up into here, all the way through to the chest, and around the back, around the rhombus, and through the thoracic. So I'm just going to brush evenly both sides. Nice and gentle, nice and comfortable. We get indications from the device on the body where it will stick. You'll actually sense it in your fingertips. It'll drag, it'll hold onto the body.
Oh yeah, it feels a bit sticky there.
Just there. So literally in the top of the shoulder area here, the device is grabbed, almost like a fridge magnet, straight on. You'll recognize it as soon as it happens. Now, I'm not actually holding the device still. As you can see, my arm is moving. I'm no longer dragging it across the skin, but I'm placing it on the skin and just moving it around slightly so that the tissue itself is moving. Yeah, there you go. You see this slightly pink area? This is where the device stuck. And in fact, there it is. It's sticking in that area. If I can drag through it, it moves a bit freer. There it is. It's stuck right there.
And what does that correspond to? Is that some type of magnetic quality in the tissues that you're trying to release? Or
it's the electrodermal elements of the body. The device is interacting with it, and it's looking for what it calls asymmetry. It's areas that are not the same as the other areas. So as we move this across the body, that becomes let's say a challenge to that area, and we're activating the bodily functions, the energies in that area, and it's a projection of the lungs sitting in this area. So there's several different things happening simultaneously, and we're interacting with the body field and the tissue and the chemistry of the body all happening simultaneously. Now that's suddenly gone smooth. It's now traveling neatly through there. So we know that the difference in that area has equalized and the body's been stimulated. Now that's beautiful to see it change so fast, but sometimes you might treat it for a minute or so and then move on. Don't stay in one area. If I was to take a spoon and brush Harry, he would get sore, wouldn't he? Well, it's a bit like the device. We stimulate the body and then we move on. So try not to just keep brushing one area. We can brush down the spine. There we go. There's another one just here. So we just let that move in. So we're working into a projection of the lungs.
So from a methodology point of view, you're basically starting with the MiHealth screen in the bioenergetic wellness system in the software. You use that, so you're basically looking at those first 4 primary sort of red or purple spots on the screen, and then once you're there, you then basically treat all around that organ, and you're then looking for the asymmetries or the sticky points, and you just keep treating.
Yeah, just open up those areas, locate those asymmetries. You're bringing a flag to them. You're letting the body recognize where they are, and then the body itself heals those areas and uses it to activate energies. So we are creating interest in those areas.
So you don't really have to get too sort of hooked up on following an exact prescription or an exact protocol. You can sort of feel your way through it.
That's right. The body literally tells us where to go. So we've been given projections and directions and information by the software, but the body ultimately is the one that knows where to go. So here we go, it's stuck right there again.
So the body's intelligence is basically directing the sort of the final treatment outcome, and you just use the software to get going.
That's exactly right, Harry. The body does it for itself, and we need to keep the application as simple as possible and follow the body's lead. Excellent. Take a breath. Tell me what you feel.
I feel good.
Super. Now that's a nice, simple on-body treatment. Thank you for your body, Harry.
Thank you.
Now the bioenergetic software helps you select 4 ERs, 4 energetic rejuvenators to, let's say, restart the body's pathways and open up the energies. So in this case, we've already looked at the lungs, and now we've chosen ER19, which is for the thoracic spine. So
that's because I had a little kiteboarding accident a couple of months ago, and yeah, I'm not quite sure.
So Harry knows why he might have issues in that area. He's been kiteboarding and done a bit of damage to himself. So what we're going to do is open up the energies there and see if the body can work with that. So now I'm going to be working from here effectively through to here. So again, I'm just going to place it somewhere. Make sure that's comfortable. How's that, Harry? Feeling comfortable?
You can jack it up a little bit.
There you go. How about that?
That's good.
There we go. So now I'm going to draw it down the spine. And you can see I'm over this side of the spinal process. And it's sticking just here. Only takes a moment and you suddenly realize the device is identifying just where to go.
Yeah, well, that's exactly where.
In fact, just behind Harry's fingers, just there, we've got a little pink section that's come up. And that would be the asymmetry. So we're going to let the body work with that. So here we go. There's one side, there's the other. Now if you find a sticky area like that, it's worth moving out to the sides as well. If you imagine a horizontal traveling this way, so we might brush this way just to see if it's affecting anything out to the sides or if it's localized just there. There we go. Now we can see the pinkness here. That's hyperemia, that's circulation coming up through the skin. So the body is actively involved in engaging that energy and getting back on a healing pathway. There we go. How does that feel, Harry? Comfortable?
Yeah, that's good.
Excellent. Now in this case we've got Harry sitting on a chair here, but you could easily have him lying onto a massage table and just gently working through the body with the ERs in whichever projection is identified from the software. Here we go. Now this is a new dynamic that's just come up just there.
Oh, well, that's I have a rib that pops out every few months, so that's that one.
There we go. So now you can see I'm following the profile here. Much easier to follow the profiles than try and go thump, thump, thump over different areas of the body. So
what do you mean by profile?
Well, you've got your scapula here. If I was to follow the scapula around here, the device will run around the scapula and we'll get right into those areas. If I was to just go over it, I'd be basically putting folds of tissue in, and it doesn't feel very comfortable, does it?
Yeah.
Not in comparison to just following these areas, letting the natural curve of the body guide us. So it always should be comfortable for both the client and the practitioner.
And what's the correct angle of how you're holding it against my body?
Well, if I was to hold the device at the base, there's a long way between the electrodes, which are just here. There's 4 of them, 2 thin and 2 wide. If I held it here, I would be putting strain on my own wrist. If I slide them down so my fingers are close to the electrodes, I've got more strength in this area, and that makes it more comfortable. It stops me from being the next patient. So here we go. Now this area has changed again. In the moment we were talking, the body's energy has already started changing in this area. So let's move to here. I can tell that by the fact the asymmetry and the stickiness have started to dissipate. Here we go. There's something just there. So I'm just going to hover in that area. We could call this a micro massage. We're actually not rubbing the device across the skin. We're actually moving the skin slightly, giving us access to that area without causing friction. There we go. It's just started to release down the spine again. Beautiful. That's actually loosened up quite nicely. Nice and fast. Most of these on-body treatments can be done in 2 minutes, allowing the patient to get, should we say, a restart of energy in those areas and allowing everything else to flow. Thanks, Harry.
Thank you.